Good evening, everyone. Today, I'd like to present the topic of EVM machine. We already have episode 104, so if you have not watched that one, please watch that one first. Today, we're going to look at two things. Number one is what's the difference between payable and non-payable function. Number two is how the EVM machine select the right function to execute. So this is actually the assembly language for the bytecode for this smart contract. As usual, it started with 8040. Basically, this the three line is trying to store the free memory pointer 80 at the address of 40. And then we actually have a so-called jump table. The jump table basically compare every function, actually the selector to the corresponding call data. The call data is going to provide a selector as well. So we, based on that, we jump to the right function body. So over here, we make sure we do have a selector in the call data. So we compare the call data. If it's equal, less than 4, then certainly we don't have a selector in the call data. Then we're going to, in that case, we're going to jump to 26, which is 38 in decimal, so which is over here. As you can see, we are going to revert, meaning we don't have a function, right? If it's smaller than 4. But I do wonder what when we call the when people call the fallback function, what the selector is going to be. We are going to talk about that in another episode maybe. So the other thing is we have two function, empty function payable selector, and then empty function selector. And turns out they have these 4 bytes over here for empty function payable selector, and for empty function selector is this. So as you can see, the jump table basically just trying to compare the call data load with this one first by doing a dupe. So this call data load is going to be reserved because whenever you do comparison, it's going to pop. So we want to dupe the call data load first. So if it's equal, that means we have a match. And then we're going to jump to the corresponding offset, which is for 043. So in 043 over here, this is the offset for empty function payable. And because it's payable, we don't need to check if we have received any Ethereum or not. Okay, so it's simply going to push the return address 31, which is 49 in decimal, which is actually 2 instruction away. So it's just like this because the next 2 instruction is simply going to jump to 47, which is decimal 71 here, and because the function is empty, so basically we just jump back immediately. And here you notice the upper jump dash. Jump dash doesn't do anything by itself. It's simply a safe landing location. So this is a marker that means this is a legal or valid entrance for a jump. So we immediately jump back, and the address of the jump back is actually stored in the stack. So it's basically a function return back to 49. Which is over here. We store it over here in line 46. So 49 again, it's a valid jump, and then we just stop. So the word stop means we completes our transaction. Okay. On the other hand, if it's otherwise, if it's not equal, let's see. So is it empty function selector? If yes, jump to this. And then the other one is trying to compare another one. So this one is So if year jump to 51, so we are going to, if we do a match, so it's going to jump to 51, it's right over here. And then this line is trying to check if we receive any Ethereum or not. So the core value is MSG dot value is going to push on the stack. We dupe it because we are going to get rid of 1 when we do the test. So it's test 0, it's true or false, which is 0 or 1, is going to push on the stack. And if it's true, we're going to jump to this address. Otherwise, we're going to revert, okay? And before we revert, we actually also put a 0 over here, which revert reason, which is the memory address 00, and then we also duple 1, which is the length of the reason, also is 00, so means we don't provide any reason for revert, okay? Otherwise, we can also provide a revert a message over here at the address 00 and provide the length of the reason over here as well. So if we have not received an Ethereum, that means it's false. So if it's false, we're going to continue, and that means we're going to go to the body of empty function. First of all, we put back the return address. We put the address over here, 3E. So we jump to 62 right here. And then in this case, we're going to save the return address 69, just like before, and then jump to 73. Because it's an empty function, we return back immediately to the instruction over here, and we stop, and that complete the execution of empty function. So the difference between empty function and the empty function payable is really, do we check this part or not? Do we check if we receive the Ethereum or not? Okay. Otherwise, everything else is the same. So the payable non-payable function is going to have some extra code to check this, and then we have all the comparison to make sure we call the right function. All right. So thank you so much. Have a nice day.